Good morning, Bobcats. Good morning. It is great to see everyone this morning. Joining me on the stage this morning, we have Dr. Seitz. And, oh, go give her some claps. We have MJ Sanchez from Miss Colucci and Miss Huskey's class. And our very special guest is Commander Seitz. So we're very thankful. I know a lot of you guys have been putting together some questions for Commander Seitz, and you're anxious to hear some of the letters that we received back from your letters that we sent over to Afghanistan. So without further ado, I'm going to let Dr. Seitz explain a little bit more about what's going to happen. But I appreciate you being here and everybody being on their best Bobcat behavior.
Let's give her props, Dr. Lazarus, our fabulous principal. Well, thank you all for coming out. We're kicking off our Great American Teach-In today with actually a special presentation for you, our Bellamy Bobcats. If you remember, last year, we participated in an outreach program. Outreach means we're reaching out, and what we did was write letters to soldiers in Afghanistan. Now, at the time, Commander Seitz, who happens to be my husband, was in Afghanistan. He left this time last year. He didn't return until the end of August, and he was gone all that time, serving in a special program that's called AFPAC Hands, and he might mention that a little bit. But while he was over there, Dr. Lazarus and I were thinking, you know, what would be a wonderful way to kind of reach out to these soldiers and let them know we were thinking of them and that we think what they're doing is important. And when I spoke with Commander Seitz, he said, you know what, the camps where he was located, kind of way over by the Pakistan border, they get a lot of care packages. And when he had served over there before in 2009, I worked with a school and they sent a lot of candy and that. And he said, yes, they got a lot of that. But what they didn't get a lot of were like personal letters. So what we decided to do, he sent the names, if many of you probably remember, of the soldiers at the camps where he was based, the men and women he was working with. And it was Camp Lightning and Camp Clark. Raise your hand if you wrote a letter to a soldier last year. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well, many of you wrote such wonderful letters. I know the teachers shared them with me. It was really, really heartwarming. We sent almost 400 letters to these soldiers over in Afghanistan. That also deserves a round of applause. What many of you might not have realized was that these soldiers actually wrote back to a few of our students. They were that touched. And MJ, or Marija, offered to read one of the letters that she received. But before MJ reads her letter, we had another student, Alicia Cruz. You want to raise your hand? There she is. She also received a letter, and she asked if I would just read the first part of one of these letters. What I want you to notice, Bobcats, is how heartfelt these letters are. When you reached out to them and made them feel, you know, important, that when they're so far away, as Commander Seitz will tell you, you know, you're in a foreign country, thousands and thousands of miles away from your family, from your country, from everything American, and you wonder, are people, you know, they're recognizing what we're doing here? Do they think about us, you know? Because they are working for America. They're defending our freedoms. They help us so that we have all the wonderful things we have in America. So, and they're also working to help other countries in need. So this was to Alicia, and it is from, I'm going to get his name right, First Lieutenant Thomas R. Starnes, and he wrote quite a letter here. I'm going to just read this first paragraph, but I also want to mention that he also sent to her a coin, and I'll let Commander Seitz explain about these coins, because she also drew a picture and sent it, and he said he wasn't a very good drawer, so he sent her a coin as a thank you. But here's what he said. Dear Alicia Cruz, thank you very much for writing to me and thinking of all of us here in Afghanistan. It is for the young men and women, parents and children, teachers, policemen, and you that we are here today. All of the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines love each and every one of you classmates and families. We love our freedom, our country, and our rights so much that we go away to far-off lands defending our country from the bad guys. Please rest easy at night, knowing the young men and women I lead here are safe and ready to protect our friends and families back home. And then he goes on to answer some of her questions, and then gave her a coin. So that kind of gives you a little bit of insight as to what those letters meant that you wrote to the soldiers, and why Commander Seitz is here to recognize you and to present Dr. Lazarus for you, for our school, a special presentation. But now I'm going to turn the mic over to MJ, and she and I sat together and we were reading the letter, and we were like trying to decide what part of the letter, and it's so wonderful. She decided that she was going to read the whole letter. Are you ready? Here you go. I'm going to give her a round of applause.
Dear MJ, thank you so much for your letter. I am very glad that you took the time to write me while I'm over here. I have been in the U.S. Army for 6 years now. I have been in Afghanistan for 7 months. Before I was in Afghanistan, I also served in Iraq for 1 year. I have a family of my own. My wife is named Catherine, and my 3.5-year-old boy is named Ian. I miss them a lot. My little boy likes to talk to me on Skype when I get a chance to call him. Do you have any brothers or sisters? You asked me a bunch of questions, and I will answer them. I'm 28 years old. I have been in the Army for 6 years. Yes, I do like being in the Army, even though I miss my family. I enjoy what I do over here. They feed us food that is a lot like what you eat at your school's cafeteria. So if you like your school food, you will like our food. I sleep in a little wooden building. It isn't too bad at all. Yes, we do rehearsals before we go on missions. That is the only way to make sure everyone knows what to do. Yes, I speak Russian, but I only speak a very little bit of Spanish. My favorite movie is probably The Princess Bride. I was born in the great state of Texas. Like I said, MJ, thank you very much for your letter. It was very nice of you to do. If you want to join the Army when you grow up, you can, and if you study hard in school and get good grades, the Army will pay for you to go to college. You want to go to college? Learning is very important. Whether people know it or not, you never stop learning. That is why paying attention to school is so important. I can tell you pay attention because your letter was very well written. Keep it up. Take care. Respectfully, Captain Jonathan W. Stockwell.
Nice job, MJ. And thank you for sharing. Well, you can stay. You're a special guest. You get to stay seated. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So you can really hear the sincerity in the soldier's words. And Commander Seitz, you knew him, right? He was a friend of yours. So now, without further ado, I'm going to invite Commander Seitz and our wonderful leader, Dr. Lazarus, to the stage. And I think Commander Seitz has a few words. I'll give him the mic. Okay. And he has a special presentation for us.
Thank you, Dr. Seitz. Elementary, thank you so much for letting me come here today and speak to you. Like Dr. Seitz said, getting these letters while we're over in Afghanistan really chokes me up just talking about it now, because it really does mean a lot to the guys over there. It's like, you guys ever get anything in the mail or something for a Christmas or a birthday that you're waiting for? Or when you're overseas, you don't get a lot of mail and you're kind of alone and it's boring. You guys can understand that. But when you get a letter from somebody that you don't even know, it's like a surprise, and it's like opening a gift, and get very excited and it makes your day to read about that people still think about you. So thank you, Bellamy, for sending those letters last year. They were very, very heartfelt. They were very nice to receive. And in that vein, I want to present Bellamy Elementary and Dr. Lazarus. I'll read the presentation here. This certified the accompanying American flag was flown on the 21st day of January 2014 in your honor aboard a U.S. Army CH-47 Chinook helicopter on an air assault mission to Mattoon Hill in Khost Province, Afghanistan. This flag is presented to Bellamy Elementary School on behalf of the men and women of 425th Field Artillery, 3rd 10 Brigade Combat Team, and Afghan hands with deployed to AP Clark, Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. So, as with any good military unit, leadership is key, and you guys are fortunate here to have Dr. Lazarus leading you to do wonderful things. And I want to present this to you guys. Thank you for the letters you sent me and the team.
Well, I want to say thank you so much. This means the world to us to know that you appreciated our gesture over there. And really, this is reciprocal communication, our outreach. We were thanking them, they're thanking us, and this is so important because of our name, Francis Bellamy. We were named for Francis Bellamy, who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and now we have a flag that was flown in our honor over in Afghanistan, really fighting for freedom. And so we're going to hang this by the giant flag in our office so that everyone will be able to see how special and important this was, that people were thinking about our school as they were fighting for freedom, just like we were thinking of them while they were doing their important job. So we're very thankful. Thank you so much.
Okay, now, because it is the Great American Teach-In, you're going to have a chance to ask a few questions to Commander Seitz. So, without further ado, I'll go ahead and just let you raise your hand from your classrooms, and I'll come to you and let you ask your question to Commander Seitz, and he'll answer them. All right, who are my questions? My question people. Now, these are questions that your teachers, they've already identified you. Okay, go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and say your name, your grade, and your teacher, and then you ask your question, okay?
My name is Evelyn. I'm in 3rd grade, and I'm in Miss Rosalie's class. What type of training is required before you fight in a war?
Thank you, ma'am. The question was, what kind of training do you get to fight in a war or to go Afghanistan, I'm assuming? Lots of training. You usually train with the Army, and they teach you how to I would shoot weapons, but also to drive the trucks we use over there, how to survive if you get caught or you get, lost in the wilderness. And also now, since Afghanistan's kind of, we're pulling out and trying to stop the fighting and do more nation building, helping them build up their country. A lot of language training and how to build different things that a good society needs, like schools and government and law. So you learn a lot about that to try to pass that on to the Afghans.
Do you feel like you're on Oprah? Yeah? Okay. Do you want to stand up?
My name is Amanda, and my teacher is Miss Croft and Miss Nisbon. How many wars have you fought? How many wars have you fought in, and which ones?
Good. I've been to Iraq once and Afghanistan twice for me. Those are the only 2 places I've been fighting a war. Thank you.
Okay, next question.
Hi, my name is Kaylin, and I'm in 5th grade in Miss Croft's class. How many years have you been in the military, and what made you join?
I'm an old guy. I've been in 26 years, some reserve time and some active time. You guys know, like, reserve is when you just do it once a month for the weekend, and then active is when you're doing it every day. And I joined because I always liked the Navy, being on boats, but I also wanted to go to college, so I was able to combine them and go to the Naval Academy where you got college and you got the Navy together, and you could do that. So I gotta say, you guys are very well spoken and not afraid to express yourselves. I'm impressed.
My name is George. I'm in 3rd grade and my teacher is Miss Udall and Miss Verona. What kind of food did you eat overseas?
What kind of food do we eat overseas? Like the letter said, a lot of food we get is just like American food that you probably get here. A lot of fried food, a lot of fried chicken, French fries, and stuff like that. But when you go out in town, then you get to eat some of the local food, like a lot of rice and goat and lamb in Afghanistan. In some places you get to eat camel.
My name is Daniela and I'm in 3rd grade. My teacher is Miss Udall and Miss Verona. My question is, did you ever get a nickname from your friends in the army?
Did I get what?
A nickname.
One guy used to call me Iron Sights. But it's a long story. Anyway, yeah, everybody gets nicknames over there sometimes, so that's a good question.
My name is Alexa and I'm in 3rd grade and my teacher is Miss Rossenballer. My question is, do soldiers wear the same uniform and hats at all times?
Thank you, good question. Yes, when you're overseas, everyone wears pretty much the same uniform all the time. No civilian clothes, and every day it's the same.